Inspector General of Police is here, Nur Gabo, who is in charge of the administration of police. From the ministry, we have the Principal Administrative Secretary, Anne Ngetich, is here. And of course, we are joining the colleagues who are here, the teams which are here, which have done a great job, led by the Regional Commissioner for Coast, Roda Onyancha, and the other teams from the police and other agencies. And I want to really appreciate everyone. So we are here first and foremost and thank you, Governor and Senator, and the other political leaders who are here for also joining the teams here and supporting us and helping us actually even to calm the community, which I'm sure is very affected from number of activities that are going here. First of all, this area is an active security. It is also an area where we are implementing the court-ordered recovery or exhumation of to here. So that's why we are here. Last time when I was here, I think I gazetted Chakama Ranch, the entire 50,000 acres, which includes the 800 acres alleged which is a Chakama Ranch, is now a gazetted security operation zone. It is a disturbed area. It is an area on which a dusk to dawn curfew has been imposed for the next 30 days, subject to review, to allow the activities which I have enumerated to proceed to conclusion. Now, I would like to therefore call upon the cooperation and patience of everyone. And I say so because due to the classification of this area as a security operation zone and also as a disturbed area, we will not be able to allow access, or rather the law does not allow access to everyone except as permitted by the operation commander. This is all in good faith and in good order to ensure that whatever is happening here is successful. I also want to clarify, for example, that the process of exhuming the bodies that we are recovering is a court-ordered process. It is done based on certain ethical and professional standards. And therefore, that's why we cannot allow everybody to take part in the exhumation or to take images. Certain images are limited, even by international law, because they involve or they constitute outrages against human dignity. Because these are bodies of people's loved ones, people's relatives, mothers, fathers, children, neighbors, friends. And so there is a limit at what even the security agencies themselves can do. That's one of the limitations we have in the context of what is happening here. Number two, the exhumation is a legal and judicial process aimed at collecting evidence that will be used in a court of law. So it's done in a particular way, using particular methods, and applying certain professional standards. So that I thought I should explain. The search and rescue mission is also sensitive in the sense that we believe that there are criminals who are holed up in some of the bushes within the area, the operation area. And the information we have is that those criminals are armed with crude weapons. They could harm people. The preliminary reports we are getting is that some of the victims may not have died of starvation, which was one of the methods of death. There were other methods used, including hurting them just by physical and preliminary observations. Of course, we are waiting for post-mortem results. The scientists are here. I've seen the chief government pathologist is here. Johnson Odur, Dr. Odur, I think, is here, and the other teams that have been working here. So we, therefore, will be limiting those who also have access to the search and rescue, because it's a security operation. But I have directed the team here to work with partners, like civil society, and see how perhaps a limited access can be granted to ensure that there is public involvement by public non-governmental public institutions, perhaps a limited numbers of members of the press, because again, we do not want to expose any person to danger. These are thickets where we have criminals hiding there, supervising the deaths of their country, their fellow countrymen, and they are telling us it is the work of God that they are doing. I don't know which God, the God of death, genocide, and the God of murder. Now, I thought I should outlay those limitations so that you understand where we are coming from. Now, of course, the government of the Republic of Kenya sends its sympathies, sincere sympathies to the families who may have lost loved ones. And we join the rest of the country in standing in solidarity with those families as we go through this absolutely most painful and perhaps one of the most devastating and darkest moments of our country. We have been hit like this before, severally, maybe not in this manner, but our country has been attacked by other types of terrorists. There are other types of terrorists who have attacked us before. And every time we have been attacked, our country has pulled together and come out of it. I am happy to report that in the fight against armed terror, we have been able to keep that threat at bay for a while. And I want to assure the country, as your security minister, that I will go to whatever lengths, together with all the colleagues and agencies that are in this sector, to make sure that Kenya is able to sustain the kind of effort that we've and achievement we have made in the fight against terror. But this is another form of terror, perpetuated by people waving the Holy Scriptures and chanting out supposedly godly phrases and pretending to be church people and people of faith, while they are actually. I therefore want to ask once more for the solidarity of every Kenyan and friends of Kenya who are not Kenyans to stand with us even as we confront this problem. I also want to assure the nation that the same way we have defeated armed terrorists, we will also defeat these terrorists who are hiding behind scriptures and purporting that we will fear them because they are quoting God and they are quoting scriptures. And therefore, we are going to treat them the way we have treated Al-Shabaab and other threats to our national security. This is a tragedy like no other. This is a low moment for Kenya. And I am informed there are still some religious leaders out there making funny comments about what is happening here, and trying to insinuate that perhaps what the government is doing is interfering with the right of the freedom of worship. And maybe I would assume that those who are making those comments think that we will retreat from what we have started. I have bad news for them. That through one of you, a Mr. Mackenzie and a Mr. Ezekiel, who we are also processing, you have hurt us and you have succeeded. But this is the last we are going to have this kind of thing in this country. The government will not release its foot from the gas pedal. We will not look back. No amount of noise, threats, or distractions will make us look back from protecting the people of Kenya from the merchants of death, from whatever faith. Some of them are trying to tell us they know God more than the rest of us. I want to tell them, it doesn't matter who you know, here in Kenya, out there in the world, or even in the spiritual realm. We don't care whom you know. We will come for you. You are a murderer. We will come for you heavy and hard. And there is no turning back. It doesn't move. It doesn't matter whom they are associated with, who they know, the influence they have, the money they have. We do not care. We treat them the way we treat other murderers. Allow me to again say that the government has decided to take additional measures to strengthen the operation which is taking place here. And I would like to announce the following new and additional measures. Number one, to support the search and rescue within the 800 Shakahola forest, 800 acres Shakahola forest, and the entire Chakama Ranch, which is 50,000 acres. The government has upscaled the operation with more personnel, and at the same time, the government will, in addition to the ongoing land-based search, we will also start an air search to make sure that by use of air personnel and air technology, we are able to expedite the search and rescue and also coordinate the two teams, the teams in the air, the teams on the ground, to ensure that we save every life that can be saved from the ordeal that has been going on in this place. Number two, with regard to the legal process of exhumation of bodies, we have not been able to carry out the activity today because of rains. The experts have advised us that the procedure of doing exhumations for purposes of judicial and court processes involve a lot of sensitivity, including the ground must be dry to a certain level so that they are able, first of all, to exhume in a certain way that does not interfere with the evidence. They must be able, first of all, not to cause any disturbances on the bodies to start with, but even more importantly, they must be able to do it in such a way that all the evidence that can be retrieved from that site is able to be retrieved. And therefore, we have suspended the exhumation because of the weather, and as soon as it dries up a little bit, we will resume. And I will want to assure Kenyans the following, now that I'm at it. The government of Kenya has nothing to hide from this atrocity. President Ruto has directed that we must do whatever it takes to establish the whole truth of what happened. And therefore, no Kenyan has any reason to worry that there could be any intention whatsoever by government to try and reduce the truth. It doesn't matter how many fellow citizens we have lost. Part of our closure as a nation is to make sure that we account for the last man, woman, child that has been visited with this untimely death. I am saying so because, people may think, the reason why there are certain limitations is because there is perhaps an intention to hide it. There is nothing we would like to hide. Number two, I want to assure all families and the people of Kenya that the government will, after establishing the truth, ensure full accountability and full justice. We will charge the suspects in court and they will be convicted, because the way we are doing it is so methodical that this time round, every person we take to court must be convicted, and not just convicted. They must attract the severest and most painful punishment that is able to be available from our law books. So there will be justice and accountability. I said it last time, we've nothing to hide. And this accountability is not just for the suspects. It is not for the perpetrators alone. The accountability is going to be also on any public official whose conduct, misconduct, commission, or omission may have aided or abetted these criminals to do the damage they have done to our country. Rest assured that the accountability will be done. But at the moment, our priority now, the urgency now, is the search and rescue. Because for us, that is more important. If we can be able to make sure that we don't leave any person stranded whom we could have saved. We don't leave any criminal in these bushes. We don't leave any grave unopened. That for us is the most urgent priority. But I want to assure the country, the time of accountability is on the way. It's coming. Public officials, private people, principal offenders, abettors, conspirators, everybody in that criminal chain will account for their actions. And therefore, some of the administrative measures we will be taking, some of them today, some of them next week, are just administrative measures to just give confidence to the people that the government has nothing to hide, and we want to give assurance that we are doing everything above board. The process of accountability has not begun, it will come. It will also involve the church people who are threatening us here that they know God than the rest of us. The rest of us don't know God. So even those church people all over the place, we will go for them, not just the ones that are already in custody, wherever they are. All religions, all beliefs. I would like to continue because I said there are certain measures we are taking today, and say that to assure the public in the country that the investigations and legal processes happening will be above board, are open for scrutiny and the government has nothing to hide. The government has decided that effective today, we will transfer all station, division, sub-county, and county heads and commanders of all agencies within Kilifi County effective today. We will replace them with their colleagues from elsewhere so that we can show the public that what we are doing is for the good of the country and for the good of justice. We are not implicating anybody, but we are saying if you are the OCS, if you are the commander or a person who ought to have either received a report or you may have received a report and failed to act, then you cannot be part of the team that is conducting the investigations. The optics are not looking good. So that is the policy of government, that all those who are in command positions at station, division, sub-county, and county level, in all agencies, including the Kenya Police Service, Administration Police Service, criminal investigations, other departments, including the National Intelligence Service, all of them must be deployed elsewhere and allow their colleagues from other stations to come and help us push the investigations forward, work together with the teams from Nairobi, from headquarters, so that we get to the bottom of this. Finally, that we have also upscaled the operation commander. The level and seniority of the operation commander has been upscaled. The director of criminal investigations has also upscaled the level of leadership here on site, and therefore investigations are going to get new leaders of higher rank from Nairobi effective tonight. That is not my job to announce. It is the job of the commanders of the National Police Service to announce. And that's why we are here with the DIG, Nurugabo, on behalf of the Inspector General of Police. They will be making the administrative announcements on other changes and other rearrangements to help us move forward with the investigations. I want to end there once more by thanking you and really saying the government of Kenya appreciates what all of you have done. The political leaders, the county government, civil society, volunteers, government officials, we appreciate what you're doing. And Kenya will never be hurt like this again. All the criminals out there manipulating the people of Kenya, exposing them to degrading and inhuman treatment using scriptures, your time is up. We are coming for you. We'll get hold of you. You are in the same category with the other dangerous criminals we are fighting, including bandits in North Rift and the terrorists that try to hurt us from time to time. Thank you. God bless Kenya. Governor, maybe you can say something, and Senator, about the local issues so that